In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived a young boy named Faraz. He was born into a devout Muslim family, and from a young age, he had a deep faith in Allah. His parents, especially his father, instilled in him the importance of faith and trust in Allah's mercy. As Faraz grew older, life became increasingly challenging. The pressures of university, extracurricular activities, and peer influence began to pull him away from his faith. He started neglecting his daily prayers, stopped reading the Quran, and lost touch with the righteous path he had been raised to follow. One fateful day, as Faraz was rushing to finish a mountain of homework, he received a call that would change his life forever. It was news of his father's sudden illness, and it was severe. Faraz's world came crashing down, and he rushed to the hospital with tears in his eyes. For the next few weeks, Faraz sat by his father's bedside, praying for a miracle. During those difficult days, Faraz was reminded of the lessons his father had taught him about the boundless mercy of Allah. He realized that he had drifted so far from his faith that he had almost forgotten the warmth of his Iman. Faraz turned to Allah, seeking his guidance, support, and mercy. He began to pray again, fervently and sincerely, with a heart full of repentance. His days and nights were spent in the remembrance of Allah, asking for His forgiveness and help. Faraz realized that it was not just his father who was ill, but his own soul had been ailing too. One day, as Faraz was reciting the Quran in the hospital room, his father, who had been unconscious for days, suddenly opened his eyes and smiled at him. He whispered, "Faraz, never forget that Allah's mercy knows no bounds. Trust in Him, and He will guide you back to the right path." Faraz's father passed away shortly after, leaving him with a heavy heart but also a newfound sense of purpose. He knew he had to carry forward the legacy of faith that his father had entrusted to him. As the days turned into months, Faraz continued to strengthen his relationship with Allah. He sought knowledge about his faith, attended religious classes, and performed acts of charity. He discovered that the more he gave to others, the more his own heart filled with contentment and peace. With each passing day, Faraz's Iman grew stronger, and he found solace in the knowledge that Allah's mercy truly knew no bounds. He understood that it was never too late to return to the path of righteousness, and that Allah's forgiveness was always available to those who sincerely sought it. Faraz's transformation inspired those around him, and he became a beacon of hope and faith. He knew that he could never bring his father back, but he was determined to live a life that would make his father proud. In the end, Faraz realized that the greatest blessing he had received was not the restoration of his father's health, but the rediscovery of his own faith. He knew that his father's last words were a gift, a reminder that Allah's mercy was a boundless ocean, ready to embrace anyone who turned back to Him with a sincere heart. And so, Faraz's journey of rediscovering his Iman became a source of inspiration for many, a testament to the fact that Allah's mercy knows no bounds, and that even in the darkest of times, one can find peace of mind through faith and trust in the divine.